RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. This is our public show. I guess I don't know whether I've got this camera set up correct or not. It's kind of, anyway, I'll just try my best. Yeah, it looks like the post-eclipse world is starting to show itself. I mean, really, it's awfully difficult to explain why the world shifted so dramatically on a dime there, unless you subscribe to these celestial events. Also, too, I suppose, we're looking at news around the world. Are we in biblical times now? I don't think Dubai and the United Arab Emirates have ever seen as much rain as they're seeing now. And all the poor $100,000 cars all underwater. I wonder if Rolls-Royce makes a car that floats. I guess they never expected that. Anyway, so very interesting times we're living in. The Nostradamus guy says middle of May here, 2024, something really big supposed to happen. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. I might argue that we have been talking about this ad nauseum for quite a while now, so it's certainly it's anything new. Recent shorts, just the trailing positions, the runners. We took half of the position off here for this is the futures, beg your pardon. Just breaking to new lows. Actually, I'm even a bit surprised. That they couldn't hold this key support level here. But you can see position up very large amounts. And I suppose if you were trading the cash market for Bitcoin, that's what it looks like right now. Although I don't have the trade metric up and running here right at the moment, but basically it's the same thing. Huge profits, stops at scratch. So really not much to do there right now. If anything, I'm a little bummed that I wasn't able to get something short on here for the stock market. But man, what a beautiful story for incorporating eclipse windows into your market thinking. You can't script this any better than this. That's absolutely incredible. And if anything, just try and remember this for going forward. I'm not quite sure why these dates are here. This was like the 20, I think it was the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. And this was like the 25th. Isn't that weird how these dates, somebody came along and altered these darn dates. Anyway, something along those lines. I have to find Cole and get those numbers crisp again. Anyway, so the point here is we just went through an eclipse window. Now we're actually even starting to get things like trend signals. Moving averages are crossing bearish. And I mean, what a great testament to moving average systems, eh? If you just used Brian's good old 13 EMA, 30 SMA relationship, you can see it got you to go long there, buy when it snows, all that kind of talk. Sell when it goes. I mean, absolutely perfect. You couldn't script that any better. And oh, by the way, this is a core concept that we teach at TRI in one of our modules of our level 2 program. So if you do fancy yourself, if you want to become a trader, I tell you, I have yet to see anybody on the interneting offer an education program that even comes remotely close to the education program that we have here at TRI. And we're constantly adding content. We're constantly adding new concepts. In fact, really would like to try and figure out how we can incorporate Marat's relative rotation studies into the education program as well. We had a really great options meeting yesterday in the after party. I'll review some of the ideas that we kicked around. And actually we had a really, we had a really cool sort of team meeting last night where kind of made a commitment to try and be a little bit more positive with these videos and all of you. And, the feedback that I get from everybody is, yes, we are making a positive difference in this world. And if anything, I think my job has got to be, okay, how do we spin this so that we can actually use like Gucci sweater guys? That kind of event sadly is the public. I mean, that's just basically the way the public acts. And unfortunately, they do lose money consistently in this investing game. But we actually put together kind of a fun sheet, and I'm kind of thinking on like a once a day basis. I just simply read out one of these affirmations in our meetings, kind of idea. I'm sure Josh put this together. I don't know whether he wants me to actually show this on screen or not. Probably not. But we'll just start out. I lead TRI with the vision of tuning frustration into financial freedom, and I am a beacon of opportunity. I like that. Let's go with that for today. Maybe once a day, I'm going to read you one of these positive affirmations and try and make you feel as though, I'm genuinely inspired to try and help all of you. Well, we'll see how it goes. The broader market, what it does today look like in the stock market, it looks like a train wreck. And isn't it hilarious how, the darling of the previous bull cycle, I can't even see it on here anymore. It's actually gotten so small. There it is. Tesla. They can't even get out of their own way now. If I understand correctly, these cyber trucks are turning into quite a laughing stock. I think one of them got stuck in the sand or something like that on a beach or something, even though it's supposed to be an all-terrain vehicle. So it is interesting when we look at the Tesla stock. Of course, we had beautiful sell signals come in there last year, and that thing just keeps powering its way to new lows. It's quite remarkable how nasty. And you got to feel really badly for all the people that just sort of mindlessly follow, sort of. I don't know. Would you call Alan a social influencer? I suppose he's probably bigger than that. But wow, what a disaster this stock is. And, this is now but a few years. In fact, actually, I think the price of the asset is now lower than the entire time that Mr. Biden has been president of the United States of America. Actually, there's one little window where it's a bit cheaper. Oh boy, look at these nasty M's. If it's one thing that you can teach yourself is if you ever see M's in the marketplace, for goodness sakes, be careful. And speaking of which, sadly, what do we have happening in our good old beloved Bitcoin now? In fact, I even just put a tweet out, sort of like, what are we supposed to be thinking if we ever see the market smiling at us? I'm not totally convinced that we're breaking down here. I still, my gut is that my gut feel is that we're just in a trading range. I get the impression that, they're going after stops here. I wouldn't even be surprised on that dump there a few days ago. I guess, this is a daily chart. Probably was some people that came in and bought and just said, look, I just put my stop just below the lows here and just below these lows kind of idea. And if it goes there, fine, get me out. But make no mistake about it, folks. That is a big fat smiley face. And you could really make the argument that this thing won't be a bull again until we actually start seeing W's in this sort of size of this. It's going to take a while, no doubt about it. And along the lines of the positive affirmations and stuff, there's no sense in getting frustrated. But the long and short of it here is anybody that participate at TRI and is in the lounge on a daily basis. I mean, they're all actually really happy right now going, yeah, Brian, you saved us a lot of headaches. So thank you very much for saving financial headaches. We don't like those kind of things. At the same time, too, though, of course, this is a message from the market. as I said there a moment ago, I would actually make the argument, and the flatter the trend line, the worse, because this might take a long time to resolve. But I don't think Bitcoin is a bull again until you actually see an outright W above this line here. And because it's so flat, this could take a long time. So there is your trend line. Trend line has now been turned from a potential trend line into a confirmed trend line. And I would make the argument, very simply put, that this is not an outright screaming bull until you actually see the market W on the other side of this trend line. And it's going to take a while. If anything, kind of like what you're seeing here out of the Bitcoin, looking at Dubai right now, I think, there's a whole bunch of people that went to crypto conferences in Dubai. Was this a message from God? I don't know. But that, I was joking with the crew earlier today, like, this is biblical. You don't see that every day. If this was a couple thousand years ago, they would say it's basically another flood. Hey, there's Noah. He's going by in his boat. So I don't know. I mean, anyway, only time will tell. It is interesting to see. If you're looking for a reason why this is happening, well, it's pretty obvious. Again, and I do find it fascinating that there's a Canadian flag in behind this picture here. That's almost a little suspicious. Of course, my feelings about the Canadians, and I'm going to try and refrain from using derogatory terms like China to stuff going forward. So I don't think that resonates too well with the public. It's supposed to be the demonstrator of best practices and PMA and all that. But you all know, and if anybody, I tell you what, if somebody asks me over on the YouTube channel, hey, Brian, what do you think about the leadership of your country? Great. Then I'll go down that road. But I should probably refrain from political rants here. But anyway, Powell spoke yesterday. I definitely think, and I've said this repeatedly to all of you, that they manipulated the bond market last fall because they knew how much corporate debt was going to come due between the end of 2023 and sort of the middle of 2024. They let a lot of that debt roll over at much lower interest rates than prevailing market rates at the time. The stocks, of course, love that. Like, all those companies are like, phew, we're not going out of business. Thank heavens. It would be actually interesting to try and get some data as to the actual corporate refinancings, and was there some sort of big sort of date that when a lot of those had to get done, and why did the Fed just all of a sudden mysteriously completely pivot? And now, of course, they're like, wow, interest rate cuts. No, we're probably not going to do any of that now. We were chatting in the day trader room earlier. We were saying, and actually Ed even mentioned this, that we have been a fairly consistent message from Jerry. He kept saying, we're data dependent, we're data dependent, we're data dependent. I think it was irresponsible, and I've said this repeatedly. I'll say it again. You'll probably hear me say it out the yin yang. But I don't think it's actually in the market's best interest for these Fed speakers to be speaking as much as they are. And I think they're actually doing a lot more damage to the market than good. Obviously, Jerry disagrees with me. He said publicly he really likes all this discourse, but I mean, it's like every bloody day they've got these speakers out there constantly speaking, and it's like a coordinated effort too, because you have like all these European central banksters, the Canadian central banksters, the Americans. I mean, I think these people are just talking way too much. I mean, look at this every day. They're constantly out there, and I don't think that this is in the market's best interest. My hunch is 10, 20 years from now, they'll look back and they'll go, yep, that Fed Governor Powell under Jerry's tenure Maybe they talked a little bit much, and maybe we have the exact opposite. Because when I was sort of in my formative years, Mr. Greenspan was at the helm, and he actually really did not like to talk too much in the public. And frankly speaking, I think that was in the public's best interest. Because as Henry Ford once said, if the public ever actually learned about how bad the banking system is and how corrupt it is and how this whole great reset stuff is just literally stealing the nation's wealth from its citizens, Mr. Ford said there'd be revolution tomorrow, like literal, or maybe even by the end of today. All right, thank you, sir. So, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really don't think it's a good idea that these guys talk as much as they do. Not much in the econs here today. If anything, what is happening is these Fed speakers are just speaking. That's all they're doing. There really isn't any new econs. Did have oil inventories come out, just had an absolutely insane trade in crude here today. Kind of along the lines of the whole market is melting down here. And you see where 50% rules are. I wouldn't be surprised. The old adage is buy your unleaded the middle of February, sell at the middle of May. Here we are approaching the latter part of April. So we're basically into that window where we probably should be looking for the energy markets to start stalling out here. Unfortunately, we got given roll notifications, so because of that, I didn't really want to take a chance with real money. So unfortunately, I just sim traded it. But it was actually a very pretty setup. Look at this damn trade. So we had, and really all I want to do is just be the demonstrator of best practices for you people. So hopefully you just see this over and over and over again, maybe even like bookmark, take clips, whatever you can possibly do to learn this. This was actually a really, really pretty setup. So the market actually started out of the gate, and actually it was interesting to see opening range trades. Kind of splotchy and nothing really to write home about. There was a short signal here for the opening range trade, sold there. Took partial profits on a 1-to-1, moved stop to scratch and was blown out. So, opening range trade didn't really do much. Market rallied up substantially off of the lows. And actually, this was an interesting 4669 level it could have traded. It was also 127. It's a little bummed I didn't take that trade, but I'm in this June contract right now, and it is incredibly illiquid. I mean, you can see, look at all these huge gaps. So when I saw the crazy ass price action, I was like, you know what? I don't like the smell of this. The irony of it all is you're supposed to be in the heaviest volume contract, and we have like a total schizophrenic market. Junes now are doing more volume than Mays on the big boys, but on the micros, Mays are still doing more volume than the Junes. And this June contract, like I said, I mean, just choppier than Chop Vegas. Having said that, EIA report came out here. It was, I'd actually argue, a pretty benign report. Market rallied back up into reload short zones against original market structured tops, and then started to put in a top up top here. I mean, this is everything that we teach. AB equals CD objectives exceeded. I mean, just absolutely perfect. This counter trend rally was basically one, mountain man level. You could even, apply that ICT kind of concept, market structure broken on this dump. So hit this mountain man level, and, there's the trade. Strap on 2 contracts if you can. That's kind of why I like to do these micros, so you can do multiple contracts, and it's not a world of hurt if you're wrong. Take one off at a 2-to-1 risk reward. Unfortunately, can't show you that anyway, but it is a 2-to-1. and then just see where the hell the other market takes you. And actually, I'd used this 4.669 as sort of profit objective, but look at this damn thing; it just keeps going. So even before we got the daily brief video going, I moved my stop up to this microstructure level. Seems to, and I suppose if you do 3 high low method, right, would probably, and keep in mind this is a tick chart, so I don't know whether that's really relevant for you, but I definitely think we could probably move our stops against that market structure level in there. But gee whiz, what a huge trade. And this is such a great analogy of why you want to have those runner contracts. If you can somehow do 2 and then just pay yourself, right, on 1, 2 to 1, move your stop to scratch, which is basically what's happened here, and then just let the other one go and just keep moving stops as new market structure comes in. And wow, this is a micro contract. This is insane numbers. So, that's basically my day hanging out within the futures room with the site members. Great journal material, great logging, great behavior. The issue here, unfortunately, was I wasn't going to strap on the real money trade, just because I really did not like the illiquidity of this June contract, and it just didn't feel comfortable taking that kind of risk with. This thing was jumping around like 10 cents, like every tick. And it was just like, this is crazy. But nonetheless, the setup actually worked brilliantly. So just goes to show, trade your setups, put your opinions away, and just live with the results. And every once in a while, you have days like that. Kaboom. Okay, so there is your market state, as I had said, to sort of start things off. And you can see from our basic FinViz. I like using this site. They have a nice fundamental analysis tools. Yeah, it's a pretty sanguine day, pretty sanguine market. Interesting how that NVIDIA, we actually were talking about a top coming in there. Looks like that top is legit. Tesla, of course, market darling, looking like absolute poop. Interesting how the only thing that's really overtly green here today seems to be a healthcare stock, which is somewhat defensive after it has been just taken apart recently. And actually, a couple of the financials look a little bit better. Fascinating, eh? How ironic. Well, I suppose if you have the central bank manipulate the market for 6 months to make sure that all those, garbage loans, zombie companies all refinance. Of course, the banks collect more fees, and that helps their profits. Blah blah blah. You know how this con job goes. Yeah, it's just business as usual. And unfortunately for the crypto kids, it's going to be a bit of a slog here, folks. And they've done some actual technical damage to the charts here today. If you don't want to overthink this, just try and remember that. What are you supposed to think if you ever see the market smiling at you? There's that simple image that I tweeted out. Well, there it is. So they've done some actual technical damage to this chart. They have now validated a new trend line, and I can't really get overly bullish about crypto until I see maybe like a new market structure trend line come in. I mean, even now we could probably work with this for the short term. And then what that'll mean, and there'll probably even be steeper ones, but what it'll mean is we got to somehow get through this trend line, and that'll set up a trade to come up here. And we won't actually go into full-on crypto bull market mode again until, like I said, we actually put in structural W's on the other side of this trend line. And that's probably going to take some time. So anyway, there's your report for today. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't take no wooden nickels. Remember what your number one job is. Always take a risk-first approach. And of course, anybody that came in anywhere through all of this, they didn't do that. And they're probably going to be trapped. In fact, when I talk to Joe, we often, as a simple, use him as kind of a good proxy from Coinigy as a sort of public figure. What does the public sort of do? And he's getting better. I mean, no doubt about it, but he's still very early in his learning. And I constantly talk to them about these wicks and tails. And all of you, in fact, actually, this might be a good assignment for the public. If you're watching this video, do us a favor, hit the like button if you got any value out of today. Follow us, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But maybe put in the comments, where are these people officially sleeping? These are the people, sadly, that went to Gucci sweater seminars. And if anything, it's my job to try and help you people so that you don't make this mistake again going forward. So let me know where these people are sleeping, and hopefully you're not sleeping there. All right. Have yourselves a great day. Slow and steady wins the race. All the best. And bye for now.